Hello, everyone, and welcome to the brand new Championship Focus. It's big. It's exciting. We're excited. We're really happy to be bringing this to you. It's been planned. It's been in the makes. I'm pretty sure we've had so many different things in the works. It's unbelievable, but this is the one. We're quite set on this. Very excited to bring it to you. We're not sort of overdoing it. We're not overworking ourselves either. So it's just going to be enjoyable for all, especially for you Championship lovers. Plenty of Championship content, and also there will be bonus content for other leagues such as the Premier League and other EFL divisions occasionally. So keep an eye out. Anyway, I am joined, of course, by the co-creator of Championship Focus, the main man, Brandon. How are you, mate?
Oh, I don't mind being called the main man. Yeah, I'm pretty good, mate. Yeah, looking forward to this new project.
RIP Project Football. Yeah, so no, we're very excited for this new venture, very committed, and we just thought, what a better way to start off a new project than a tier list, because a tier list is just nice and simple. Everyone loves watching them, and they can also wind up a few and make a few happy. So we shall see. But without further ado, we will get into it. Today we are just recording on an online platform, but for future episodes and just general content we'll bring to you, a lot of it will be us two in person with our own little setup. So keep an eye out. Should be exciting. Right, so let's get into it. Right then, let's get straight into the tier list. We have 5 categories. We have massive, class, decent, meh, and tin pot. Let's get straight into it with Barnsley. My opinion on Barnsley this season, and kind of on other seasons as well. This season, they've not been great. I can't lie to you, but obviously they are down there. You're not going to expect their fans to be amazing when they're having such a poor season. Oakwell has always been a disappointing atmosphere whenever I've been there. Away from home, they've not seemed, at times, they've not seemed that bad a fan base, especially when they're doing well. So I don't know. I feel like Oakwell sort of suffers in the same way St Andrews does a bit, and it's just lost its soul these days. And it also obviously needs repair works, so a few similarities there. But yeah, no, Barnsley, I'm going to put them in meh, because I know they can be good, but they're not there right now. Brandon, what are your thoughts on Barnsley?
Yeah, to be honest, mate, I just echo exactly what you've said. Oakwell, it's an open corner stadium. It's quite old. Not like that's a bad thing. That can be a good thing sometimes, but yeah, it just feels like a disconnect with the fans. The attendances they're not awful, but they're not out of this world. Like, they're just kind of what you'd expect for Barnsley. And away from home, there's been good experience with Barnsley, but yeah, I think you can kind of put it with their performances on the pitch, which obviously haven't been great, and yeah, they're bottom, aren't they? So yeah, to be expected in there, but it is what it is.
Exactly, completely agree. Blackburn. Now, I think our views will vary on this one, because when I've seen Blackburn, they've been very poor home and away. Obviously, this season I've only seen them at home, but whenever they have come to St Andrews, they've not been amazing. There has been 1 or 2 times, where they've been all right. I think I remember them. We drew 2-2 against them a couple of years ago. When Bradley Dack and I think it's Danny Graham scored against us. They actually had a good atmosphere that day. So for me, they're sort of the epitome of decent, but their home atmosphere is what bugs me. It's so bad. Even this season, when they're doing so well, it just disappoints me a bit, to be honest. What are your thoughts on Blackburn?
I've never been to Ewood Park, and we haven't played them there this season.
I wouldn't recommend it either.
So I can't really have a say on that, but they did come to Pride Park early in the season, and I've mentioned this to you off camera. They were pretty good. Don't get me wrong, they won the game and they were miles better than us. They played us off the park, but and I'm pretty sure they sold out the away end, if not most of it. So sort of upwards of high sort of 2K, maybe low 3K, but which is pretty good. Yeah, I guess I would have said class just based off this season and my experiences. But if yours is a little bit more meh, then I guess we can drop it down into decent.
Lovely stuff. Now, this team we've spoken about off camera, I have a lot of time for Blackpool fans. I think they're a solid fan base, home and away. I think, they're definitely in the class category for me. They just miss out on massive because I just don't think they have numbers wise. They don't have the following that some of the other clubs have in this division. And that's the only reason I'd leave them out. But they're definitely in class for me. What are your thoughts, Brandon?
Yeah, I haven't been to Bloomfield Road. Yeah,
Yep. Well
I've
done.
not been there before. I will be going. I will be going later on this season. I've booked it off work, so yeah, that'll be a good weekend. But yeah, they come to our place. It weren't that long ago now, probably about a month or so ago, as we're recording, and there wasn't loads of them. Like you say, the numbers aren't brilliant. There's probably 1,000, 1,500, if that. But they were very loud for the amount of fans that they did bring, and they lost the game as well. They didn't play amazing, yet they still kept singing. Both fans kind of joined forces as well with the EFL related songs. But yeah, like you say, I've got a lot of time for Blackpool fans as well. I've got a lot of respect for them. And I'd have to say class personally.
Lovely stuff. Now, Bristol City, a very they're quite a difficult one to decide on because when things are going well, they've got great support. When things aren't going so well, it's a bit meh. Ashton Gate, it's not a bad atmosphere to be fair as far as home grounds go. Away from home, Bristol City seem a bit up and down, sort of travelling wise. But I think they just about sort of settle in that decent section for me. What are your thoughts on Bristol?
There's been a lot of agreeing in this video. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say a decent. They've not been to Pride Party yet this season, but I have been to Ashton Gate, and they were pretty good. They won the game. They were fairly comfortable. We didn't really cause them too many problems, so I guess they didn't really have the nervous energy about them. I think I don't know what it's called, but as you're in the away in the very far corner on the left, I think there's like Heineken stuff everywhere, like Brandon. I think it's Heineken anyway, right in the far corner. They're pretty loud, to be fair.
So next team we have Cardiff City. Interesting one. When they came to St Andrews this season, I thought they were brilliant. At home, they're all right on their day. It's another one that sort of, when they're doing well, good home atmosphere. But away from home, they always seem to travel well, in fairness to them, particularly to St Andrews. I don't really have many bad words to say about them. So I'd edge them into that class area, to be fair. For me, Cardiff, big club. What are your thoughts on Cardiff?
Well, it's the only team that I can't really have a say on because we haven't actually played them this season at all yet. The earlier game got postponed with COVID. Well, I can't really say much about this season. I'm going to have to leave it down to you. I would have said decent personally, based off what I've seen, but I've not actually been there, so I haven't seen. If you know what I mean, and it's not based off previous seasons, so I'll trust your decision on that one.
That's fair. I think with this one, for now, they're going to go in class, but it could change later down the line, sort of depending on the state of the tier list. So, our next team definitely won't come anywhere near Cardiff. That's Fulham. Craven Cottage, not a bad atmosphere. It's not bad. Obviously, they're doing up the new stand, which is quite exciting. But away from home, Fulham fans are just, for me, they're awful. I don't rate them much away from home. But at Craven Cottage, they're okay. They're sort of, for me, they're meh. They're meh. That's the best way I could describe Fulham. What are your thoughts on Fulham?
I would have to say that they are meh because their home support it's all right. Hopefully, once the new stand has been completed, but they use clappers. That's not a good start. That's putting them down near Tim Pot, to be honest. So, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't think we'll really find anyone in Tim Pot, really. If it will be anyone, it will be Fulham. But But yeah, away from home.
I don't know. Reading is still in the mix.
Sorry. Yeah, of course. I forgot about Reading. They've not been to Pride Park yet this season, so I can't really say much about their away support. But the home is, it's just meh at best, isn't it? It is on Barnsley's level, but I'd say that's the kind of club size level that they're at. It's just the only difference between the two sides is the success on the pitch, which Fulham are having more of. But like I said, they're kind of so yeah, meh for me.
Fair play. Next team, Hull City. They're an interesting one for me. I feel like they're proper wind-up merchants, but they're not bad. They're not bad at home. They numbers-wise, it's not great, but that sort of corner to the left side of the away fans, they're fairly loud. Since they brought in the new owner, they have been bringing back some decent sort of numbers attendance-wise. Away from home, numbers-wise, awful. I mean, truly awful. But for the fans that are there, they're not bad. Hull, they are a low meh. They're not actually that far off Tin Pot, but they are on the up. Obviously, the fans do seem to be coming back, since the new ownership. So I don't know. It's a tough one to place. They're not amazing by any stretch of the imagination. But I do sort of like that wind-up merchant attitude they have a bit. And they're just one of those annoying clubs that sort of just won't go away. So, no, Hull are all right. They're meh, but I wouldn't be against putting them in the tin pot just for these actions. But hey ho. Well, what are your thoughts on Hull?
Hull. They come to Pride Park just a couple of weeks ago now, I think. Like I say, they didn't bring many. It's sub 1K, if that. There was actually a Forest fan literally on the opposite side to me, and he was holding up 2-1 for about 79 minutes. So that's not ideal. But yeah, home support is what it is. It's they've had a lot of ownership problems with the club. I think we're safe to say they've kind of the amount of up and down they've been doing between the Premier League and the Championship and League One over the last few years. It's quite ridiculous, and it's weird to say that 6, 7, 8 years ago they were in an FA Cup final. It's mad how things change. So, but that's enough about on the pitch. Sorry, but the fans, I'd be honest, I'd put them above Barnsley, but still in the meh category. I think they're just about better than Barnsley, but we'll wait and see.
I completely agree, to be fair. So, we'll go with that. Now, the next one of your favourites, Nottingham Forest. For me, they go straight into massive. I think their home atmosphere starts well, but it doesn't actually maintain the atmosphere that it begins with. Away from home, they're not bad, but they are also one of those teams that only sing when they're winning. And if Forest fans want to argue that case with me, then be my guest. But whenever you have come to St Andrews, I can assure you, you only sing when you score. You are quite an easy to silence fan base, but you are a massive fan base. And when you're singing, when things are good, you're brilliant. So, a lot of positives, but also a lot of negatives. I think the whole Forest are back chant comes a little bit soon because you never know, things could still go south. And I never really understood the chant of the Forester magic. It's I don't know. It's different to most other fan bases, but there's also a lot to like about Forest, their home atmosphere. It looks great for the cameras. There's a lot to like about it. And I do have a little bit of a soft spot for them at times. But when they're winning, they don't shut up about it. That's what I'm going to say. Sorry, I feel like I'm being really harsh, but I do actually like Forest a lot of the time. But no, they're in massive for me, and I feel like you're going to agree with me despite not wanting
to. Reluctantly, yeah, as long as we get to go in there later on. But
maybe if you're lucky.
But yeah, I agree with the point about the home support. It starts off well. They sing Mull of Kintyre and pretty. To be fair, I kind of rate the shit house with they're throwing the fake fives on us.
That was
early in the season. I kind of rate the shit ass through, but their fans on Twitter are awful. Like it's the most like hard to read tweets sometimes that I've ever experienced. I guess they come up on my feed a bit more though because obviously I'm a Derby fan. But yeah, it's a massive club. It's a massive fan base. You know, a lot of history and the ones about how it takes them like sort of 15 seconds to get in there that they were once the champions of Europe.
Yeah, they do like to live in the 80s occasionally.
They do. But you know,
so do the lot down the road from us. So can relate on that one.
Yeah, exactly. They're a massive club. They've got a big following. This season, they've been very good. They've had a good season. So they're in massive, but there might be some people overtaking them.
Yeah, to be fair, no, it is nice to see Forest on the up again for a change because, you know, they're one of those that I'm used to just sort of being down there with us, to be honest. So, no, it definitely makes a change. I've watched a lot of Forest documentaries and that sort of generates a bit of a soft spot in itself. But no, there can be a very wind-up based football fan base as well. Moving on, Peterborough. Home atmosphere, sort of the end opposite. The away end isn't too bad, but not amazing. Away from home, they're okay. They're okay. Another one that I'd slice in a high meh, maybe decent. I don't know. I think I'd need your experience of Peterborough first.
I'm not impressed. I'll be honest. God. To be fair, I'm putting them around the sort of level of Hull and Barnsley, to be fair, which is weird considering how I was bigging up Hull literally 2 minutes ago. But yeah, I was disappointed by the home atmosphere. It was the first game of the their first home game of the Championship when we went there in would it have been all and they made no noise. Don't get me wrong, we were all over them for the whole game. That probably contributes somewhat, but yeah, I thought they'd just be a bit more up for it, to be fair, with them being back in the Championship.
Do you know what? Screw it. They took 4 points off us. They're in Tin Pot.
I honestly don't think they're in Tin Pot. I think there's definitely. I think if they're in Tin Pot, then Fulham are a firm. Like they need a whole new.
Should we just put Fulham in Tin Pot just because
yes.
They're top
because
end
it will annoy their fans on Twitter.
Exactly. They're top end of the real table, so they can be bottom end of this table. But yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying.
I hate their fans on Twitter as well. But yeah, Peterborough literally bang there. Their away support was all right. I think they only sold 1,500-ish. I'm pretty sure, if that, at Derby literally the other day as we were recording. They were all right for patches of the game, only really when they like had attacks, which was like 3 times. But yeah, I'd say they're probably actually above Barnsley, but I'll let you decide that one.
I don't mind. Yeah, we'll put them there. Moving on, PNE, Preston North End. I think they travel well, but Deepdale, the atmosphere there is fairly appalling. In fairness, when they scored, actually their home limbs weren't bad. I'll give them that. There was a few bodies, but they're definitely one of those teams that are fairly good whenever they come to St Andrews. I think it's one of their favourite away days, to be honest, Preston. But no, I just don't rate Deepdale much at all. It's just not great. So away fans based, I'd probably edge them to decent because I do think they are better than Hull, but also the same sort of level as Bristol. What are your thoughts on Preston?
Pride pot yet this season, so I can't rate them on that. But I have been to Deepdale a few months ago now. Well, it's quite a while ago, actually now. But yeah, I'd say that they're just. I'd say they're in there. I'd say they're just above Hull. But like I said, I've not experienced a away support this season, so I can't judge them on that sort of level. But their home fans are better than Hull's. Let's say that. So
I'm going to edge them. I'm going to edge them into the end of decent, but it could change.
That's fair. That's fair enough. Like I said, you've experienced them. Yeah. That's fair enough.
Right. So the mighty, the massive, the gargantuan, the huge, the enormous Reading. So Where are we putting Reading? For me, they're either bottom of meh or they're
You
top.
don't even need to ask me where Reading are going.
Okay, cool. I think this might be the easiest one of the night.
They brought a whole 18 fans to Pride Park earlier this season,
The whole eight.
and that's good for them.
Yeah, I don't rate Reading at all, really.
They're still below Fulham. Fulham have clappers. No,
Okay.
they're still above Fulham. Sorry.
Oh,
Wrong way around.
okay. Right down.
Fulham have clappers.
We all know of that infamous video. They call us the Red. Yeah, I'll stop there.
Yeah.
But still,
Move on.
it's Tim Pot worthy. Next team, they're definitely class or above that for me. And that is Stoke. Tough one where to place them. I've travelled away with Stoke before whenever I've not had a Blues game to go to. I actually went to Stoke away the other day. Their home atmosphere was god awful. All they sing is Delilah at the start of the game, and then you don't hear a peep out of them for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
But away from home, they're actually not bad. They're quite good if they travel well, which a lot of the time they do. So for me, they're top end of class, maybe low end massive. I'm going to let you have the final decision.
I'd say class. Their numbers are pretty good, but the fans were a bit meh in the game. I'll be honest. To be honest, the only songs they were actually singing all day were about us because it was the day after we got put in, and all they literally just sung about us for the entire game. Well, I'll say the entire game. They weren't actually singing for the entire game, but when they did, it was about us, and they were fumed. They were throwing shit at us and everything. Not very happy, but yeah, I'd say class because they've got very good numbers, and I know they are good on their day, but they weren't good for me this season. So yeah.
Right, West Bromwich Albion, decent home atmosphere. It's not bad. Can be quite hostile at times, but they have a drum. I hate drums. Away from home, all they do is say the word boing, and they travel well. They can be noisy. Chance wise, it's a little bit boring, but I also think fan base wise, they're I don't know. I feel like this is just me being a Birmingham City fan, but they're never happy with what they've got. They always want more, and I think they should consider themselves fortunate at times. But if they feel like they should be up there, then that's them. Maybe with the squad they have, they should be doing better. But I'd die for a ninth place finish. But yeah, no, West Brom are definitely in class, possibly massive. Similar sort of boat for Stoke, really. To be honest, that's my opinion. What are your thoughts on Baggies?
I would probably put them above Stoke, but in class. Yeah. They come to Pride Park. They were similar to how Stoke fans really were. They sold out the away end. They were 5 minutes or so. Then nothing really came from them. To be honest, I don't think. To be fair, I don't think they were happy with the Ishmael at the time, who was at the helm. I don't think they were playing very well, and they obviously that was kind of around the start of when they were dropping off. But at home, it's all right. To be fair, I've never really seen the all right. To be honest, me personally, I'd actually say.
I think
I don't know. Actually,
I
don't.
The ones next to the away end aren't bad. They're not bad. But
see, I think they're the quietest set of. If it was based on noise, they're indecent at best. I'll be honest, but the numbers push them up. So I don't even think they're in the top end of class. I think they're bottom end of class, to be honest.
I'll put them above Cardiff.
But they're bordering on though because they don't make enough noise. But their numbers push them there. But they're a big club, so it's what you expect. So I don't know whether swings your boat.
Right, let's get into this next one. Bournemouth, interesting one. Bournemouth. I think away from home, their support's pretty terrible. It's not great numbers wise. It's meh. It's sort of it's in that meh category. They're not the noisiest, but they're okay. At home, though, I actually really rate their home atmosphere. It shocked me when I went to Bournemouth away on a Wednesday night. I was not expecting their atmosphere to be as good as it was. I actually think both ends of the stadium are quite good. Despite having a drum, it's not bad. Their fans are quite creative. They're loud when they want to be. And yeah, I actually do really rate their home atmosphere. And for me, that puts them in decent. Their away atmosphere could improve, but Bournemouth, it's an awkward place. It's a long way to travel to go to many away days, to be honest. But I would put them in decent. I would put them in decent. They're definitely far better than Fulham.
Yeah, they're far better than Fulham, definitely. But I've not been to Bournemouth this season. We haven't played them yet. But from when they've come to Pride Park, the numbers were pretty good. To be fair, for they're not a massive club at the end of the day, are they? I think they're actually bottom for their home attendances, but that's
because their ground is so small. I mean,
yeah, it is relative to the ground, obviously. But away fans, I think they bought upwards of high 2K, nearly selling out. So it's pretty decent. Winning the game for a large chunk of it. I don't think they were amazing. But then again, I've seen vlogs from the Bournemouth in that game, and they actually didn't stop. Well, to be fair, I'm pretty sure Reading could make out to be good on a Reading away vlog. But I agree with you. I think maybe above. No, I don't know. Because me personally, I would probably put them above Bristol and Preston, but below Blackburn. But
I'll agree to that.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's fair. So the next team.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I keep snuffing. By the way,
it's all right, mate. I've
blown my nose. I've blown my nose like 100 times today, and it's just not having it. But yeah,
it's funny because I'm really suffering as well. I've got the tissues out, and my eyes are watering and everything. So no, I feel what you're feeling. Next team, Coventry, home atmosphere. It's literally one corner. One corner is really, really, really good. And that one corner is an excellent atmosphere, but they need a smaller ground because they will never fill the Rico. They are far too small of a club to fill that ground. Cov fans, give me all the hate you want. You ain't going to fill that ground until you're winning the Prem, mate, because it's appalling, to be honest, the attendance at the Rico for how big it is. As for your away support, it's good, very good. You're traveling good numbers, fairly loud. They're definitely class for me, but I really do rate that one corner at the Rico right next to the away fans. So there's quite a few positives about Cov. So they definitely make class for me. What are your thoughts on them, Brandon?
Their home numbers aren't amazing, but they're not a massive club at the end of the day. They're pretty small in comparison to the others in the list. But like you say, that corner that I mentioned, it is pretty good. My problem with them is that for some reason they try and create a rivalry with.
They do the same with us. Apparently, we're their main derby because we're closest to them. I have never seen Cov as a rival.
They were singing Derby get battered everywhere they go. Like, fair enough. I get like you're trying to do banter, but you are just trying to force a rivalry, lads. Sorry. And that started on me on Twitter. Don't kill me, please. I'm terrified. I'm not a big fan of the Twitter either. Not like they're going to give a shit, but yeah, sorry guys. And they've not been to Pride Park yet, so I don't know. Tim Pot. Put him wherever you like. I'm not bothered. Coventry are like they're like that annoying like noise in the background for me. I just don't really care for them.
I agree. It's like, we won the FA Cup in 18.
I do like Matt Sky Blues though. The only Blues fan that I do like.
Yeah, Matt Sky Blues, all right. Does some decent videos. I only ever don't like
Get him in the tags.
Whenever he slags off Blues, which is
he doesn't actually slag us off. He's the only Cov fan that's nice to us.
Yeah, no, he's okay to us. It's in his predictions video. He's harsh to us a lot of the time.
It's okay, Matt. I like it,
but that's fair. We're a shit side, so I should probably expect that, to be honest. So yeah, no, I do watch most of his vids. Next team, Huddersfield Town. I do actually quite rate Huddersfield Town. Away from home, they're decent. at home. That section next to the away fans is pretty good. So yeah, no, they're definitely high end decent for me. Maybe low end class. Where are you putting Huddersfield, Brandon?
I'd probably say class. Yeah, I'll be honest.
I'm glad.
That Stanley share with the away fans at the John Smiths is very good. Don't get me wrong, we were very good when we went to Huddersfield. Our fans were. Don't get me wrong. I think we took upwards of 2,000 to Huddersfield, and despite being down to 10 men from the third minute and losing the game in the end 2-0, I couldn't hear them. But I know that they were good. So, I've seen it back and everything. I'd put them in class, and they were, despite not selling out the away end on the first game of the season, I still think they were pretty loud considering the amount of fans that were actually there. So I'd say class, yeah.
Yep, that's fair. Next team, Luton Town. I actually don't think Luton are too bad. They travel well whenever they come to St Andrews. They make a lot of noise. So they're definitely in the decent category for me. I'd put them above Blackburn. At home, obviously, it's a small ground. So the atmosphere will always be fairly intense. So yeah, Luton, I do rate Luton. I'd say they're a high decent for me.
Yeah, it's the same kind of area, high decent. I don't think they're above Blackburn personally, based off my experiences this season. Not been to Luton yet. That's I think it's in a week's time or a couple of weeks' time or something. But their away fans, when they come to Pride Park earlier in the season, there weren't many of them. I'll be honest. I think there was somewhere between 600 and 1,000, and it wasn't a midweek. Don't get me wrong. So, but yeah. I'd say they were pretty good considering the amount of numbers that they bought, and it was a good game as well, so that helped. And unlike many of the other clubs, I do actually quite like their Twitter fans. So decent
play. Next team, Middlesbrough. For me, they are going to go in massive. They travel very well. I know you're not going to like this. They travel well.
Never.
They're a loud fan base. Their home atmosphere on its day is very good. And they are a bit of a sleeping giant. So for me, they're either high-end class or they're in massive. For me personally, I am going to put them in that massive category, but I can see where this one's going to go.
No, not for. Don't get me wrong. It's hard not to put them in massive because I'll be honest, that they are probably the best fans to come to Pride Park this season. And they did sell out the away end. I'll be honest, I wasn't at the one at Borough. I'm really sorry.
They look good, to be fair, from what I've seen.
But yeah, but my problem is the Twitter following does my nut in. Sorry, guys. We're not your rivals. I know off the pitch there's the own issues, but you've tried to make it an issue with the fans as well, and it doesn't matter. With the banners of kill Derby County and stuff, it's not really. It's forcing a rivalry. Let's be honest. Just because you can't get up to Newcastle, I might be being harsh, I don't know, but I personally don't rate like I said about the banners and the Twitter following. The numbers I can't complain about it. They've got big numbers, but yeah, for the points I've made there, I wouldn't be having them in massive at all. But
I don't feel like you can criticize their Twitter following as a reason for them to not be in massive. You've given all the points that would make a massive team, so they are going to go in there.
Okay,
but they're low end massive. They're not above Forest. So we'll continue on. Millwall.
Okay.
I actually think their home atmosphere is dog. I think it's awful. I'm sure I'm going to have Millwall fans come to my house now and kill me for this.
I don't know about that.
The Den on its day is very, very intense, but it's only whenever they have like a massive game. Are their home numbers consistent? No. Are they loud at times? Yes. Do they have one chant? Yes. Is it even really a chant? No. Because it's half a word. And away from home, I think they're quite good. They don't travel in massive numbers, but they're definitely loud. I love the shithousery of Millwall fans, and I do quite like sort of that the old-fashionedness of their fan base. Sometimes it goes a step too far, but I do sort of like that proper football side. no one likes us sort of thing. You know, I'm all for it. So they're definitely indecent for me, maybe even low class. What are your thoughts on Millwall, Brandon?
I'd in terms of the home support, I'd just chuck them straight into decent, smack bang in the middle. But we actually play them tomorrow night at Pride Park as we're filming this. So I can't speak on their away fans yet. But you know, I know it's based on this season, but you know, they normally travel well. You kind of know what to expect from them. The only problem with us and Millwall is that they play us on a midweek every single time when they come up to.
They
Pride
always
Park
seem to beat you as well at your place.
Yeah, they do. And again, another bit of a Bowie team for us. But yeah, I don't hate them. Considering them, you know, the whole hatred thing about them. Well, I actually don't hate them, to be honest. And like you, I do kind of rate. For me, if I had to rank them, I would have to put them between Luton and Preston, maybe. But
I think I'd put them above Blackburn. You know,
that's the stuff my experience this season. Because I still think Blackburn were pretty good, and I think Bristol fans at home probably are louder than Millwall at home. That's just my opinion based off this season. But
I'm gonna back it. I'm gonna agree with you on that one because you had to suffer me putting Middlesbrough in massive. So I'm gonna agree with you on this one, just to the whole Middlesbrough thing.
Thank you.
Right, next team. We're getting into the final five now. QPR.
We are.
Where are QPR going for you, Brandon? Away from home, I don't rate them massively. They're not bad. They're decent. But at home, I don't mind their home atmosphere. You know, they can get on top of you a bit. They're all right. I feel like they're very low decent or maybe a high meh. What are your thoughts on QPR?
Not been to Loftus Road yet this season. I wouldn't have gone anyway. But no, we haven't. Sorry. We haven't been to Loftus Road this season. So based off their away support for this season, I would have. There's worse, to be fair. For the amount of numbers they bring, there are worse. I'd probably say that they were kind of similar to Luton's standard, to be honest. And they ended up winning the game. I'd probably chuck them just below Luton, actually. But it's quite hard for me because I've changed season ticket. I've changed where I've been sat in the ground. And for the QPR game, for those of you that know Pride Park, in fact, we'll say if you've ever watched a game on telly, that stand that the camera's opposite, so the one that it's facing on the TV, I was kind of in the middle of that, maybe just slightly to the left as you're looking at it. But I've now since moved right up next to the away fans, and that's where I was sat for the Luton game. Whereas the QPR game, I was sat quite far away, so it's hard to judge how loud they were, if you know what I mean. But that's the kind of level I'd put them at, that kind of standard indecent.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I've put them in decent. I feel like that's a fair shout. Next team, Swansea. I think they've got a good home atmosphere. Away, they're quite average. That's the best I could say about them, really, in general. Swansea, so they're either decent or like low class, like Cardiff.
I'd say I've not been to Swansea, so it's a bit of an annoying one. I would like to go, but you know, they do get quite rifled up for a big game as well. Away, they were all right. To be fair, they weren't awful. I'd say they were kind of top, considering the numbers anyway. They were somewhere in the decent category. Bordering, I don't really know, to be honest. Not seen enough. But the game between us at Pride Park earlier, they had literally like 80% possession, but did naffle with it. So I don't really know where to rank Swansea, to be honest. So I'll leave that to you.
I'm gonna, just to appease the fans, I am gonna put them next to Cardiff in class because their home atmosphere is good. But I probably rate Cardiff fans just a little bit more. And then this next team, right? A lot of people put them in massive, and they probably will go in massive. But noise-wise, I really, really do not rate Sheffield United whatsoever. Obviously, Bramall Lane, they're a bit similar to Stoke. They sing Greasy Chipolty, blah, 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 and then not a peep for the rest of the game you will hear out of Sheffield United. Away from home, they disappointed me, to be honest. I expected better. they weren't bad, but they weren't amazing. When they started winning, they got a bit noisier. I like, flares and fireworks and all that. Their limbs were good. Um, so no, I just think Sheffield United are in a bit of a weird place at the moment, but I would still edge them into massive, maybe high class.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird. They set off a firework at our place as well. I wonder what the hell was cracking off there. Um, well, they sold out the away end for us, so you've got to rate the numbers, and they've got the highest average home attendance this season above Forest. So you've got to rate the numbers. They pull off good numbers.
I agree.
So noise-wise, I kind of agree. And there was also a video came out of the vlog saying, I don't know if you've seen it. There was those kids that saying, like proper acted odd.
Yeah,
that kind of cringed me out.
And they were predicting Illiman and Jai to score.
Yeah, I would say massive. You can't turn away from the numbers. They've got probably the best numbers home. Well, they have got the best numbers away home support, and I don't know what the away numbers are like, but I'm assuming they're pretty high in that as well. So I don't think you can not put them in massive, but there is work that can be done.
Yeah, definitely. So I think these next two are quite easy, to be honest. Obviously, you could say there's bias, but for me, these next two clubs both go in massive. Our home atmosphere hasn't been great this season. That's down to the fact that we've had half a ground as well. It's ripped the soul out a bit. Obviously, both teams have their off the pitch issues as well, but both teams travel very well away from home. Both teams are selling out every week. I mean, we've sold out tonight and we're away at Reading.
On a Tuesday night as well.
Exactly, Tuesday night. We sold out the initial allocation. We sold out
for Bristol.
The added allocation. We sold out for Bristol away in a couple of weeks. We sold out for Bournemouth away on a Wednesday night. Like you can't say a bad word really about our away numbers.
No, you've just sold out Bristol as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. We're just a shithouse fan base as well. We're similar to Millwall in that regard. Not many like us. That's the way I like it, to be honest. So yeah, starting off with Blues for me, they're going in massive. It's weird actually. I feel like I'd put us above. I don't know. I don't actually know. I want to put us above Middlesbrough, but I don't know if I put us above Sheffield United. But this season, do you know what? I'd just be honest, and I'd put us below the 3. But
yeah, I was thinking that.
A part of me wants to put us above Middlesbrough, but not above Sheffield United. So I am going to switch those around actually while we're here. But I am happy to concede and just put us below those two. But Middlesbrough, I don't know. I do. First half of the season, Middlesbrough under Warnock weren't amazing. But since they've obviously brought Wilder in, they have come alive and they are a big club. So for now, I will put us here, but I do want to put us here. I can't lie. Middlesbrough. But I'll concede. I will concede because our home numbers aren't amazing, and the soul hasn't been great since the repair works and stuff. So, but hey ho.
Yeah.
And then obviously, what are your thoughts on Blues, Brandon?
I think. Look, we know that your numbers will be a lot. Well, we know your atmosphere will be a lot better at home if it wasn't for the stand closure. But the basis of the videos on this season, so
yeah,
you kind of have to go off that. And everyone's seats have been chop and changed. Not quite the king of fan marches yet. I think we've won that one, but
to be fair, you have more to march over. It's not like our club is on the brink of death.
Yeah, true. Yeah. In terms of away, yeah, you're obviously just going to be up there every single year, aren't you? Selling out every away end, pretty loud. I would love to just move you down for the fact that you were just singing that you hoped we'd die for the whole game.
Come on,
you broke about 80 chairs through them. I'll be lenient and not drop your category for that. But yeah, I'd simply just have to put you. I'd have you above Middlesbrough. I wouldn't even have Middlesbrough in massive, like I said. But I'll let you go above Middlesbrough. But I don't think you're above Sheffield United or Forest, just based on the home thing. But it's out of your control, so it just is what it is.
Exactly. Just quickly before we move on to your beloved Derby County, would you put Forest above Sheffield United, honestly, or would you put them below Sheffield United?
No, I'd put. Fuck, I don't know.
I think for now I'm going to keep Forest above them.
I think. Well, the numbers are better for Sheffield United, but Forest fans are just louder, like they just are. So
It's
I don't
hard.
know.
We'll just leave it as
They are very close.
It is a close one, right? Derby County. Obviously, for me, they're in massive. Your home attendances at the start of the season were a bit meh. But that's because of the position you were in. I think no, at the start of the season, you can't deny it. Your first game,
they're the third highest in the league, mate.
No, you're not letting me finish where I was. Right,
Go on.
start of the season, your first game, you sold like 16K tickets, and I remember
19.
saying that. Well, there you go, 19. But even still, it's not great. But I think that's down to everyone expected you to go down, like, and that's everyone expected you to be 24th, but the more performances you kept putting in, the numbers instantly rocketed up after 3 or 4 games. And now you're pretty much selling out your home end every week at the moment, or getting close to it. Your away fans, you sell most away days as well. Same as Blues, to be honest, you sell out most away ends. I didn't rate Derby County Twitter's tweet about another sellout over Luton, because I don't know. Every team sells out Luton. Fucking Fulham and Reading can sell out Luton. So I don't know. I didn't rate that tweet. I don't know why it rattled me, but it did. It did. Because everyone can sell out Luton because it's that small. But no, you're very similar to Blues on sort of the away travel thing. Travel very well everywhere. But yeah, I think your home atmosphere would definitely take you above us. Noise, I think you're noisier than Sheffield United. I think away fans, you're noisier than Forest, but home fans, you're about, yeah.
Our home fans are louder than Forest. Come on.
I rate your South Stand. I do rate your South Stand, but the rest of the ground is quiet. There we go. I've said it. That's all I'm going to say. But I definitely put Derby above us this season. Would I put you above Sheffield United based on numbers? No. I think I'm being fair.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. With the away support, I think we could have done better on some occasions. Like, I think we only took 1.2 to Bristol, which I think was, for some reason, every now and again we'll have one like that where we'd normally sell it out, but it's a long way away, Bristol, so I guess you can't really complain. But they're good numbers. Like I said, third best home attendance in the league. I think, considering what's happening at the club as well, you have got to take that into consideration. Like,
definitely.
Like, it is a massive positive that we're reaching those numbers with what's going on off the field. And I think you make the comment about the 19K against Huddersfield at the start of the season. To be honest, I think any Derby fan that was there would say this. They take 19K loyal fans over 30K, where 11 of them aren't every day of the week.
No, that makes sense.
So, and we were just as loud against Huddersfield as we were against, maybe when the goal went in, but like in terms of chanting and stuff, I'd say there wasn't really a whole lot of difference, simply based on how loyal the supporters were at the start of the season. But yeah, like I said, you got to consider what's going on off the field in that, and I think when you kind of rank that down, I think we're up there. I'd put us above Forest personally. But it is biased. Like, I will admit, it is biased.
Yeah.
It is going to be, but
do you know what?
I think we've been the best fans in the league.
See, you think that. I don't think that. I actually, when I've seen Forest, I have been more impressed with Forest than I have with your fans. I'd say Forest actually are louder away from home than you are, but I'd say you have a louder home attendance. I'll give you that. That South Stand is louder than what I can't even remember what that they call the big stand at Forest. No idea. But yeah, your home atmosphere is probably louder, but I do quite like Forest's fancy flags and anthem and stuff. But no, away from home, I think Forest are louder than Derby are. But But then, you know, Forest are in a better position sort of table-wise. They've got a lot more to be happy about for a change. It's a bit of a one-off season for them. They're not normally this good, I can't lie.
Well, we say that they are still mid-table.
Yeah, obviously it's a weird one, but I just think with the situation, Forest are a little bit above it at the moment, fan base wise. You know, they're pulling back the numbers again, selling out most home games as well. So yeah, for now they'll go there. But I think any other season, any other championship season, I'd probably put Derby above Forest. So there we are.
Oh, whatever you want, you shall get.
There we are, guys. That is the finalised tier list. I'm going to have a lot of editing to do for this video, but I'm very happy with how it's turned out. Sorry, Reading and Fulham. I'm sure for what...
I'm not sorry.
I'm sure I'll be sorry tonight when Reading beat us. It'll be all my fault.
You best not lose.
Yeah, I hope not, mate. I really hope not. But we'll wait and see. Stay tuned for future videos. We've got a lot planned, and obviously we won't all be doing it online, so the quality will improve. So yeah, just stick with us and see what we produce and give us honest reviews, you know, and we'll better ourselves based on your comments, no matter how mean they are. Keep them coming. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.